Christmas, which is nice. Yeah. I love Susan Jackson so much. Like last week when he came and I was like, oh, hopefully at the next break we can find a Jackson Keller and we can find him. And he's like, and I'm looking at him.
I saw that. That's great.
I told Hans that story. He's like, I love Jackson. And then if that wasn't enough, then when I interviewed Jackson, I was like, oh, hopefully he'll be able to find Grant Waffle, who's right behind him. I was like, same joke, still funny for me.
Funny for everybody around you.
Exactly.
People on there are like, hey, that'd be good.
Yeah, exactly. Frank, good to see you. I like this. That's looking good. You and I, we can do the comb over. Yeah, all the way up for a mohawk. Yeah, I'm doing the ETV thing. Yeah. If you come, I gotta come. Yeah, yeah. Were all the girls home for Christmas? Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kelly, and what's your last name?
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody joining us here live in person and everybody streaming live via Eagan TV. We'd like to give Eagan TV a big thank you for being able to stream this meet live to all our friends and families at home and across the world. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for continuing to support Eagan Swim and Dive program. All right. I'd like to first welcome our guests from Rosemount, the Rosemount Irish, whose head coach is Emily Gabriel. Their assistant coach is Jeff Nelson and Jake Kemna. Their dive coach is Dan Monahan. Rosemount Irish captains are Tristan Timbers, Will Kerrigan, Matthew Warrig. Welcome, Rosemount. And now, that's better. Here are our Eagan Wildcats. Our head coach is Chris Morgan. Assistant coach is Tyler Huskell. Our diving coach is just one second.
Amy Carlson.
Wrong page, I'm sorry. Our diving coach is Amy Carlson. And our Eagan Wildcat captains are Neelan Abalon, Ben Currens, and Thomas Keller. Your officials for tonight's meet are Kelly Punko and Frank Gartner. At this time, please stand, remove your caps, as our own Ellie Keller sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wrecked there, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Excellent job. Thank you, Ellie.
Hello, good evening. This is Gus Broman for ETV. We are so excited to bring you live the Eagan Boys Swim and Dive South Suburban Meet against Rosemount Irish. We're grateful for Joe Conlon, who's the producer tonight, and Margie Broman on camera one. So this is going to be quite the meet here. District rivals. I can see Rosemount from where I live, but I live in Eagan. And let me tell you, it is called Swim and Dive. The events are completely different. One you do in the water, one you're going into the water. But the diving tonight will be the best diving you'll see in the state of Minnesota for a dual meet. There is the highest degree of difficulty in this diving meet tonight. as well as the defending state champion, Lucas for Rosemount. And then Eagan, of course, will bring our great palette of divers. And candidly, if you look at the top scores in the state of Minnesota for just diving, 4 of the top 5 are diving this evening. So you have Lucas Gerton for Rosemount Irish, Owen Kipp of Eagan, Stone Larson of Eagan, and I believe it's Will Kerrigan, who is also in that top 4 in the state of Minnesota. So a lot of fun ahead tonight. Evaluating these two teams, what you see on the Eagan side is great depth. You'll see deep in each of the events with a slate full of boys, about 42 boys. And then on the Rosemount side, there's only 17 boys. So you might end up seeing some fast relays by Rosemount, but Eagan might be going for that 2-3 spot to try to get that. So this will be a very exciting meet to see how the coaches pair off against each other. The officials for this evening, over on the stroke official, that is Frank Gertner, and we also have Emily Gabriel. Frank Gertner, longtime parent in the sport of swimming, had 2 girls go on scholarship to swim at Xavier University in Ohio. One a butterflyer and one a backstroker, Caroline Gertner. And oh my goodness, the younger one slips my mind right now. We'll get to you later on. But yeah, so Frank couldn't give up the sport of swimming, so he became an official once all of his girls graduated from college. Lorelei Gertner, there it is, the younger one. So fun to see him still on the pool deck. Speaking of the pool deck, we're grateful for District 196 and the funding provided. All new tiles on the pool deck this year. The blue tiles kind of fooled me a little bit because I'm used to those white tiles since the day this was erected in 1990. The order of events tonight, they always swim a JV heat before the varsity heat. And we'll be starting with the 200-yard medley relay for junior varsity. There is no JV 500 tonight, so don't plan on getting any food or beverages before the varsity 500. So you'll see quite a bit of this in the tonight, where you'll see all JV heats for the Wildcats. So in lane 1, it is Pranav Antavillo. In lane 3, Ethan Schumacher. In lane 5, Konstantin Baslok. So in the medley relay, goes back, fly, breast, free. So it's fun to see the exchanges on the wall. A lot of time is spent in the timing there. In the water now in lane 1 is Ethan Jenkins, the freshman. Lane 3, Nano Tollin, and then lane 5, the freshman, is Ryan Huth. Breaststrokers are up. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I said butterfly was second, but mega my bad. It goes back, breast, fly, free. Good to see the depth of Eagan here. There is something called True Team sections. Rosemount will struggle, only having 17 swimmers there. Lane 3 in the water, freshman Isaac Krebs diving in for the butterfly. Lane 5, that's Preston Dunn diving in. Lane 1, Michael Boom. These two schools have a rich history of going back and forth against each other. It was in 2000, my dates are sometimes inaccurate, but I'll remember the event better than the date. Oh, hold on. Lane 3 in the water, that's Neelan Ambalam, the captain. I believe it was in 2008 where these teams in the water. In lane 5, McGavin Nee. Lane 1, Carlos Conlon. It was 2008
where Rosemount had not lost a meet in over a decade. 10 years they had never lost a dual meet, and Eagan came in there and tied. It was just an incredible meet. It was just rocking. And then the next year, Eagan beat them in their home pool, and then the next year they were able to go to Rosemount and take the W, but it went down to the last race, the 400 free relay. There's a story behind that one as well, but you know, each of these schools has had a rich history of swim and dive. Eagan. All right, now what you're going to see here is only 2 lanes for the Irish, but you'll see 3 lanes for the your Wildcats. Starter tonight is Emily Gabriel for the official. In lane 1, it is Josiah Schaffhausen. Lane 3 for the Wildcats, Aiden Smith. Lane 5, Riley McRoberts. And for the Irish in lane 2, Josh Saleh. Lane 4, Matthew Warwick. So the backstroke is, as we kind of predicted, Rosemount will be out in a way in front in this relay. Lane 4 now, Quinlan Schrader. Lane 3 for the Wildcats, Alec Bango. Lane 5, Braden Hegenbarth. Lane 1 for the Wildcats, Will Wynn. Lane 2, Jackson Pressey. So what you'll see is a big Rosemount win here to get those first points for first place, and then Eagan will take second and third and now point them in the relay here. In the water now for Rosemount is Spencer Rude. Diving in for the Wildcats, Dobbin Chong. Lane 5, Mason Dietering. Lane 1, Kuldup Ratchapatuni. Lane 2, Noah Shranovsky. Only the relays 1, 2, and 3 will score points. In the water now for Rosemount is Josh Sikorsky. In lane 3, Louis Decatois. Lane 5, Derek Bango. Lane 1, Tyler Burby. Lane 2, Dylan Everett. Rosemount will grab first place in this relay, going at a 1:41.72. 11 seconds off the, 7 seconds off the pool record. Eagan will get that second and third spot as anticipated. So that will put Eagan ahead after this relay. And that will send us to the 200-yard freestyle. Junior varsity. Good to see an Irish swimmer will be in this JV meet.
And event number 3, the boys 200-yard freestyle. Junior varsity.
On the blocks for your Wildcats in lane 1, Matt McGavin. Lane 3, Bidan Shrista. Lane 5, Reese Heenis Cook. And for the Irish in lane 4, for the Irish, Cooper Peterson. Rosemount Middle School is where the Irish swim their home meets, so it's across the fields from the Rosemount High School. You're watching the Eagan Wildcats swim meet here at Dakota Hills Middle School, which is joined to the Eagan High School. One of the great things about the Eagan High School, or the Dakota Hills facility, is that it has a separate diving well with 2 diving boards, so it just makes it so much nicer for the guys to warm up, cool down, and also as it gets closer to diving, as we mentioned, that which will be our featured event this evening, the divers can warm up while the guys are still swimming the 50-yard freestyle and candidly the 200 IM as well. Got the swimming V here with the 3 Wildcat swimmer seated perfectly in the middle lanes, are the faster ones outside smoke. And then good to see these guys. It's as if they're at practice, training together, swimming the same cadence. So touching in right now, Reese is first place. It's Vidon at second place. But McGavin knee is really pushing Vidon there for that second place. And he's breathing every other stroke, it looks like, so he's able to kind of see where Vidon is. It's a nice thing about the freestyle. It is the easiest stroke to figure out where is your competition. Whereas a butterfly, your head is straight ahead. At breaststroke, if you're looking to the side, you should get yelled at. You got to just swim your race. Good job by Reese, touching in at a 2:14.41. And then it's Vidon. Excuse me. And then it is McGavin at 2:20. Vidon in third place at a 2:22 and 2:32 for Cooper Peterson. This brings us to the 200-yard varsity freestyle.
The boys 200-yard freestyle varsity.
So you're going to see a couple of good swims here. Miggy in lane 3 for your Wildcats. He'll be coming out strong, but he can negative split this, so look for that. Also look at Louis Decatois in lane 1. So Louis Decatois in lane 1, lane 3, Miggy San Jose, lane 5, Mason Dietering for the Irish, in lane 2, Sawyer Smith, lane 4, Will Durfee, lane 6, Nolan Hansen. Miggy doing a nice job getting out front. Eagan, it would be nice to get a second in here instead of a fourth place here, so we can see what Mason can be doing for us on the outside there. But it looks like Louis Decatois in lane 1 is our highest chance of getting that second or third place. Miggy is coming out strong, body length ahead of Sawyer Smith. On your screen, the lanes on the bottom are 1, and it goes 1 to 6, lowest to highest on your screen. Oh boy, we need Louis Decatois to get in there, kick it down. You see Chris Morgan just trying to get everything he has to get him in there. Decatois is battling with Will Durfee, who's all the way over in lane 4, and he does touch a wall in before, and so he is coming on strong. They're trying to let him know, but Durfee is digging deeper. It will be Miggy San Jose, but they are going crazy on this last flip turn, and it is Decatois touching in that third place. We'll see what he has in the back half. Decatois is scrambling a little bit, kind of out of his streamline, but giving it all he has. Definitely not a relaxed stroke, but just gutting it out with all he has. Oh, he is coming on strong. The crowd is going crazy. Miggy touches in at first. Decatois coming in. It's a valiant effort, but he ends up getting fourth in this race. So Wildcats go 1-4-5. So definitely outpointing the Irish in this. So making sure that we can get whatever we can on those points. So outpointing the Irish. Not getting the points up on the scoreboard, but more to come on that. All right, more to come here.
All right, event number 5, the boys 200-yard individual medley junior varsity.
All right, this is bringing us to the junior varsity of the 200 IM. It will be an all Wildcat race here. In lane 1, Ryan Huth. Lane 3, Neelan Ambalam. Lane 5, Michael Boom. So this is where we start with the fly, back, breast free. All right, doing a nice turn there into that backstroke. Really nice work by Neelam Ambalam, the senior captain there. Michael Boom in lane 5. Love this race because you got to be proficient in all the strokes, which is not easy to do. All 3 of my boys swam this event, and they were egregious backstrokers, so it's always difficult, but at least it was like they were struggling at the beginning, but then they'd catch up with the fly and the free at the end. Or breast and free. Oh, a little change of the goggles for Michael Boom. He puts them up on his swim cap, so we'll see how he does here on the breaststroke. It's a breast. If you're going to lose your goggles, a stroke to lose it on is the breaststroke. It's the easiest to stay anchored on. Will be a little bit difficult on the freestyle, but still at least you can have your head up. Ryan Huth in lane 1 still has his goggles on. Neelan Ambalam doing well in that middle lane. Eagan had their alumni meet. It kind of got delayed with all the snow and Christmas and all of that, but they rescheduled it 3 times, but definitely a rich heritage at Eagan High School. 8 straight section titles, so that's pretty amazing. They did not win the section last year, so they missed that ninth in a row to East Ridge. But definitely a rich heritage here with Chris Morgan, who is in his 15th year of coaching. Tyler Husko is currently the assistant coach, and he is in his 8th year. He was a swimmer here at Eagan. Ambalam touching in at a 2:41.53, excuse me, and which is his personal best of the season. Boom doing a nice job, goggle free there in lane 5. Not sure why he breathed 2 times touching into that wall. Need a little bit more discipline by Michael Boom when you're coming in. Just put the head down. So looking at Ryan Huth here, you know, definitely a relaxed stroke coming in, but right here you don't need to breathe once you hit the flags. Keep the head down and stroke it out. It is a race, but good finish by Ryan there. This cues us up for the varsity heats here. Good to see Sandy Setter, the athletic director, walking the wall. She's such a supporter of all sports here at Eagan High School. So committed. Was a psychology teacher and then went back for her administrative degree to become an athletic director. In lane 1 for your Wildcats in this varsity 200 IM is Dobbin Chong. Lane 3, Alex Bango. Lane 5, Will Win for the Irish. In lane 2, Quinlan Schroeder. Lane 4, Sullivan Labno. So what we're looking here is Rosemount is short a swimmer, so they're leaving that lane 6 open. So wouldn't it be great if we were able to get that that 4th spot away from them? Wow, really nice freestyle by Dobbin Chong there in lane 1. He does have a fantastic backstroke, so he is leading this race at this current moment. But Sullivan in lane 4 is in 2nd place. Rough turn by Quinlan Schroeder on that wall. Bango had a chance to catch up with him in lane 3, did not seize the opportunity. And it will be Sullivan's, Labno in lane 4 touching in first. Good Dobbin Chong pullout. Quinlan Schroeder right there. Alex Bango following back in this breaststroke here. So a little bit of a surprise there in lane 3. He is our #1 seeded swimmer in this event. So a bit surprising that he's in 4th place right now. But Dobbin Chong is doing what he can to stay relevant in lane 1, but he is in 3rd place and he's about a body length behind. So we'll see what he has in this freestyle. He's got the potential to bring this back. Alex Bango touches in there. Chong doesn't look like Chong is going to have it in this back 25 here. So it will be the Irish touching in. And before this event, it was all tied up at 15-15. But Rosemount, decent times here at a 2:05s, touching in at 1-2. Chong touches in at 3, and then it'll be 4-5. So that'll be how the events go. So, all right. So now that brings us to the 50-yard freestyle, and this is where you have tons of exhibition. Because the 50 free is the most elementary stroke that you have in a swimming event. It's the shortest and it's the easiest. So kids who are brand new to the sport, you're in the 50 freestyle. It's the easiest one. So that's why we will have quite a few swimmers here, which is fantastic. Great to see the participation. And so the exhibition does not count in the JVs. And then it does go to the varsity, but they do score the JV meets as if it was a full meet and the varsity meets as well. So, so there will be 2 exhibition heats of the 50 free, and it will be all Wildcat swimmers. So you'll see 12 of your Wildcats here, and then you'll go to the JV. So, and after the 200 IM, Eagan is down 21-25, so it is a tight meet for sure. I do see Thomas Keller back on deck. He missed the Lakeville South meet due to illness. His brother Jackson was here. His brother Jackson is Division I swimmer at the University of Utah, defending state. I guess he's not defending because he graduated, but for the 200 and the 500-yard freestyle. We're missing a few swimmers here in this first exhibition heat of 2 here. Frank Gertner says they're all lined up and ready to go. And in lane 1, it is Eli Carrasco. Lane 2, it's Vidalis Cockrell. Lane 5, it's Zach Van Linnenhan. And lane 6, Pranav Antavilu. Good to see these guys. So the goal for these swimmers right here should be by the end of this season to try to get under 32. So guys who haven't swum before, 32 is a good time to get under if you're a first-time swimmer. So definitely in reach here. Good to see these guys swimming it out. So that concludes that first of 2 exhibition heats. So the second heat will have all Wildcat swimmers as well. Good to see the boards getting warmed up for our premier event of diving this evening. All right, in lane 1 is Ezra Moeller. Lane 2, Ian Chong. Lane 3, Ethan Schumacher. Lane 4, Ethan Jenkins. Lane 5, Lucas Gourde. Lane 6, Isaac Krebs. All Wildcats. So good to see these strokes. You know, and as you're pushing, trying to get into that JV heat, you really should be at the sub 30 timing to try to get into that JV heat of the 50 freestyle. So sub 30 is what these guys should be looking at, and that's exactly what Isaac Krebs did there in lane 6. So he's the only one to go a sub 30 here in the last exhibition heat. Which does bring us to the JV heat of the 50-yard freestyle. Splash and dash, down and back. Now we will have Rosemount swimmers here in lanes 2, 4, 6. Eagan always has the odd lanes of 1, 3, 5. Oops. We don't have a kind of a Rosemount looking suit there in lane 1 for Constantine Boslock. Lane 3, Riley McRoberts. Lane 5, Nano Tallon. For the Irish in lane 2, the freshman Jackson Helmberger. Lane 4, Ethan Conley. Lane 6, Noah Baker. These guys should be looking to try to go a sub 25 here in the JV heats. Not quite there, but finishing with doing what they can there. Good job by Riley McRoberts, finishing in first place with that 25.93. That's going to bring us to the varsity 50-yard free. For the individual events, if you get first place, it's 6 points. Second place is 4. Third place is 3. Fourth is 2. And 1 is point you earn if you get 5th place. So you don't need to get first in order to win the event. So the Wildcats in lane 1 is Hagenbarth. Lane 3, Thomas Keller. Lane 5, Derek Bango. For the Irish in lane 2, Josh Sikorsky. Lane 4, Matthew Warrig. Lane 6, Jackson Pressey. This is a really tight race in the middle. Thomas Keller is coming back from an illness. He is going to need to out-touch Warwig in lane 4. He does not out-touch him. Irish get first. Eagan Wildcats get second. With Keller touching in there, and then Bango getting third. Fourth place goes to Sikorsky. 5th place is lane 1, 23.72. So looking at those times, with a 2:3:5, it goes even. So the divers are warming up for this most competitive, most entertaining dual diving meet this year, if not in the history of Minnesota. It is the highest degree of difficulty of any dual meet in the state of Minnesota this year. You'll be seeing 4 of the top 5 divers in the state of Minnesota diving here tonight on these boards. But probably the best diving story to be told is actually the coach of Rosemount Irish. I was able to witness his back-to-back state titles. And, you know, having kids, you know, growing up, you're like, oh, it'd be so stressful to be a hockey goalie parent. But then a lot of things happen that it has nothing to do with the goalie, and a goal goes in. Then you think, okay, possibly a pitcher for softball or baseball. And then you get introduced to the sport of diving, where your kid is on the board, all of them, nothing, and also dangerous. So it goes to Dan Monahan. It was the year 2013, and I think we have him on the screen here. He's in the green shirt with the black shorts. He's now the coach for the Irish. And he was on the boards, smashed his face on the diving board, breaks a tooth. So that dive, obviously not a high-scoring dive, was able to still break into finals. And he still dives after knocking out a tooth. And then he goes on to become the state champion. And so it was a brilliant picture of him accepting that #1 in state medal as he's smiling, and he looks like an NHL player with his teeth knocked out. But talk about a gutsy move to get back on the boards and to make it into finals. So incidentally, Amy Carlson, who is the diving coach for the Eagan Wildcats, and has logged at least 13 seasons by coaching the Wildcats. During the girls' season, she is the Rosemount Irish diving coach. So it's kind of fun how how she's able to know both schools. So, but yeah, we are excited. There are 7 divers this evening. So the Eagan has Sam Johnson back diving again tonight. So that'll give us that 7th diver. But boy, I am just really looking forward to this. And going into diving, the Wildcats are down 29-33. So it will be a tight meet for sure. I mean, looking at Lucas Gerton, who is the defending state champion for diving, he's here. So he is expected to win the diving competition here tonight. Also, I mean, all of these guys are in the same section as well. So when you have 4 of the top 5 in the state of Minnesota, it is easily the most difficult section for diving in the state of Minnesota. Amy Carlson has, it's unusual to have 2 divers go to state. 2 years she had 3 divers at state. She was one of 2 coaches to have 2 divers, but then she upped that and brought 3 divers to state. So she definitely is in her element as a diving coach. So So the order of the divers this evening will be Sam Johnson for the Wildcats. Second diver will be Jacob Campbell of the Wildcats. Third diver will be Zach Manwaran from Rosemount. Fourth diver, Stone Larson from the Wildcats. Fifth diver will be Will Kerrigan from the Irish. Sixth diver is Owen Kipp from the Wildcats. Seventh diver, defending state champion Lucas Gerton. And what you're going to see this evening is the first dive will be the easiest dives for all of the divers, except for Sam Johnson has 3 easier dives after that. Three of the guys will be doing a 51-22D, so it'll be the first 4 divers. What's that? No, it'll be on the scoreboard. We have electronic keypads. So what's great is the electronic keypads are working for the diving officials, so you'll see the scores on the scoreboard. So we'll just show that on the screen here. Frank Gertner is diving. They have 4 officials scoring this.
We have scores of 3.0, 3.5, and 3.5.
So 18 total.
Campbell for Eagan.
Jacob Campbell is going to do a 51-22D forward, 1 somersault, 1 twist, free. All right, a little rough entry there. And we will be showing the scores on the scoreboard, so I won't insult your intelligence and read it off. You see that total is 18. So you'll see the 3.0, 3.0, 4.0, and then that total is 18 points. So what you'll see here is as the divers progress, the degree of difficulty you see is the DD on the scoreboard there. And so that's multiplied by the 3 scores. And then you'll see on the scoreboard how it will give you the dive total. But then in addition to that, the math will be done where it's adding up the scores as they're tabulated. Amy Carlson, for many years, was working to get these keypads functioning, and they are functioning. So it's pretty excited to have it on the scoreboard. Amy Carlson is trying to figure out the eDive software, so instead of having the cards, it is much nicer to have it just up on the scoreboard where all the math is done for you, but that's what we're wrestling with here. So back to kind of the Rosemount Eagan heritage here. Oh, Amy's hustling back. Do not run on the pool deck, but I guess that's just a fast walk. Or it's cross-country skiing without skis, I guess. So we're back to Jacob Campbell, 51-22D, forward, 1 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.8. Oh, I'm sorry. We're already on to Jacob already dove, but Zach will be doing the same dive of the 51-22D, forward, 1 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.8. So who did it better? You can just kind of judge it at home. Lean forward a little bit, got in there. See if the software is still working. And yep, it is. We got a 3.5, so a total of 23.4. Stone Larson is going to be doing a 51-32D, forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.8. So a little bit different of a dive because it's a 1.5 somersault with a twist and a free. Stone gets that nice height on that. How's the entry? That's clean. That is a clean entry. And so what his total, he's going to ring in at a 27. All right. The Irish is Will Kerrigan. He's going to do 52-21D, back 1 somersault, half twist free, 1.7. So he's the only one going to do a 52-21D here. We'll probably see that later on by Sam Johnson, but first round here. So the lowest difficulty in this first round of diving. There are 6 rounds, so total is a 20.4. So Owen Kipp is going to do a 51-32D, forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.8. So this will be the exact same dive that defending champion Lucas Gurton will do right after this. So, and it is the same dive that Stone Larson did. Oh, that was clean. Very nice. Judges say 35-10. 6.5. We have a bingo. All of the officials scored the same score. So the defending state champ is going to do his first round of diving. Same dive, 51-32D, forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.8. So who did it better? It's up to you. You decide. Judges gave him, Owen Kipp, 6.5 across the board. Love to see that consistency. Kind of rare when so many components. That was very well done. See what the judges think. You know the fans liked it. It was high, 39.6. Where Kipp brought in a 6.5 across the board. You see 2 7.5s and a 7. I'm going to tell you now that the dive record is at risk here at Eagan High School. Starting round 2 is Sam Johnson, 51-32D, forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist free, 2.2. See Sam back on the boards here. Haven't seen him yet this season. Not sure where he's been, but good to have him back regardless. All right, 4.3. So talking about the diving record here tonight, it is the pool record is held by Kevin McLean. I should probably read the next dive here. It's Jacob Campbell on the boards. Going to do a 52-23D, back 1 somersault, 1.5 twist free, 2.3. Jacob gets good air. Bit of a slap on the entry, but it's just because his feet were a little bit flat, but nice dive regardless. 35.65. So Zach Warren from Irish is going to do a 104C for 2 somersault tuck, 2.2. So back to the pool record is held by Kevin McLean, who ended up going on scholarship to Stanford. Way back in 2003, so nice job by Warren. So judges say Hamsters are chugging the math, and Gertner's still wanting to enter his in. There we go, 33 even. So Stone Larson is going to do a 105B forward 2.5 somersault pike 2.6. Boy, I mean, seeing these twos in the second round is unusual, and I mean, that is how it is the highest degree of difficulty for a dive meet in the state of Minnesota. Good approach. I love the air that he gets. Comes in clean. Very nice job on Mr. Larson there. 40.3. Probably the widest variety of scoring there, a 4.0 and a 5.5 and a 6. Will Kerrigan for the Irish is going to do a 52.31D, back 1.5 somersault, half twist free, 2.1. So the second round all starts with a 2 of a degree of difficulty. Kerrigan, nice. Little bit of a tilt on that entry. 26.25. The other thing that's nice about this facility is that there are 2 boards to choose from. This meet was at Rosemount. You have a board. Owen Kipp is going to do a 105B, forward 2.5 somersault, pike 2.6. It's the same dive that Stone Larson did. It's the same dive that Lucas Gerton is going to do. Nice height, good entry, very clean. See what the judges say. Judges say 48.10, 6.0. So Lucas will be doing that same dive, 105B, forward 2.5 somersault pike, 2.6. So you see the total on your screen, that's a 39.6. So look at that for Owen Kipp. He's currently in second place. And so it'll show once Lucas dives what his total is, and then you'll be able to see who's ahead at after round 2. Is it Lucas or is it Owen? Very nice entry. Can't argue with that. His grandma's going crazy in the stands. I love it. And it's a, wow, 50.7. So he's at a 90.3. So we're starting in round 3 here, diving. Sam is going to do a 103B, forward 1.5 somersault pike, 1.7. Once again, look at the totals on your screen. I'll be adding them up, and I'll be able to tell you who's ahead after round 3. Sam getting a little yardage there on that dive. Want to bring that back a little bit. So you got a 19.5. Jacob's going to do a 104C for 2 somersault tuck, 2.2. So Sam Johnson is at a total of 51.85 after round 3. Jacob Campbell, good approach. Try to get some height. Ooh, almost went off the board there. He's slanting right and kept going right, but still completed the dive. So he's at 84.45, 30.8 for that one. So Zach Manwarn is going to do a 203C, back 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.0. So this is the same dive that Stone and Will be doing after him. Zach, that's always gets me nervous when they're facing backwards on this, especially with the somersaults. Doesn't quite get that entry that he needed. Stone is going to do this 303C, reverse 1.5 somersault tuck. It's a 2.1 dive. Stone has been on fire recently. He really gets good air on the dive off the boards here. 303C. Gets that height. Nice in, good entry. Well done. All right. Will Kerrigan and Rosemount's going to do a 203C back 1.5 somersault tuck 2.0. So the same dive that Manwaring did. See how Kerrigan does it on board 1 here. Ooh. Had a gasp in the stands here by a Eagan grandparent, but everything is safe, no worries. So the judges listed in. All right, that gets us to Owen Kipp. He's going to do the same dive as Mr. Girton, and it's going to be a 203B, back 1.5 somersault pike, 2.3. So it's really fun having so many awesome divers and having them do the same dives in the same rounds. It's super fun. Not the entry he wanted at all. You see the look on Carlson's face, who is one of the judges, so not pleased with that entry, but all right. So that gets us to the defending champion, Lucas Girton. Same dive, the 203B, back 1.5 somersault pike, 2.3. So looking for a clean entry on this one. This is round 3. Girton is finishing up this, so we'll be halfway done with diving after this dive. Wow, that was clean. Nice. Even a symmetric wave coming after that entry. So 39 for that one, and he's at a 129.4. So he's currently in first place with Kipp at 115.4. In third place is Stone Larson at 106.15. And then it's Jacob Campbell at 84.45. And Will Kerrigan in sixth place at 72.65. And then Sam Johnson at 51.85. So that's halfway through diving. So Sam just did a 104 siege for 2 somersault tuck, 2.2. This is his first meet back after being out for a while. Jacob from Eagan is going to do a 203C, back 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.0. Ooh, doesn't quite get that entry. Little back slapper. They're trying to decide, is that a failed dive or not? Judges are conferring. They are plugging in the numbers, so it will count as a something. Still waiting on the French judge. That's a joke. And it's a failed dive. So it was a failed dive. So next up is Zach Rosemount, 403C, inward, 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2. We're in the 4th round of diving of 6. Ooh, clean entry. Nicely done. .30.8 on that dive. Nice done, Mr. Manwaring. So Stone is going to do a 403B, inward 1.5 somersault pike, 2.4. It's the same dive that Owen Kipp is going to do. I said Noah Kipp, that's his older brother, who never did dive for the Wildcats. But Owen certainly is proficient in his own right. Good entry there by Stone. See what the judges say on his 403B there. Total of 40.8. So Will's going to do a 103B, forward 1.5 somersault pike, 1.7. fine form there. Really nice tuck. Good entry. 27.2. Very well done. Owen's going to do the same dive that Stone did. A 403B. Inward 1.5 somersault pike. 2.4. So he is doing a 2.4 dive. Lucas after him will be doing a 2.5 dive. So that's a 0.1 difference on the degree of difficulty. Owen gets in clean. Very nice. Judges say 40.8. So Lucas is going to do a 52-33D, back 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist, free, 2.5. The last diver in the 4th round here. Good twist, gets in there. Oh my Lanta. Just the cleanest entry ever. Crowd goes wild. Grandma pumps a fist. I love it. Bingo, 7s across the board. Sitting at a 181.9 after round 4, which is quite incredible. So Sam Johnson is going to be doing a 201A back dive straight 1.7. It's good to have Sam back in the pool, back on the boards. Overshot that a little bit, but 3.17 for that dive. Jacob's going to do a 403C inward 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2. He's the only one doing a 403C in this round. Good entry there. Jacob, nice job getting around there. Hope you're enjoying this diving as much as I am. 27.5, good job. Zach is going to do a 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. So thanks to ETV, Joe Conlon, who is producing tonight, and Margie Broman, my wife on camera 1, and this is Gus Broman, TV announcer, who lost himself in the air, gathered himself back with a clean entry. Love it. Good job by Manwarn. So Stone is going to be doing a 405C, inward 2.5 somersault tuck, 3.1. Manwarn got a 23.2 on that last dive. And he's sitting at a 146. Oh, excuse me, that's it. I think they already put up a Stone score here. Good concentration, just in the zone. Went to the side there, but he got that entry. Got me nervous. Good clapping by Lucas Gerton liking that dive. Judges say 40. Oh, nice. Sitting at a total of a 190-190. Good score by him. So Will is going to do a 105C forward 2.5 somersault tuck, 2.4. Stone, nice job on that one. Wow. Quick dive clock here. Oh, a little bit over. But the crowd loves it, including Gerton. 33.6. Nice job by Will Kerrigan. I think it's his first time completing that dive this year. Really nice job. Owen Kipp is going to do a 52-35D, back 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twist free, 2.9. I mean, the 2.9 degree of difficulty, that is up there, especially for your 5th dive. Gerton after him is going to do a 2.4. So Owen just getting the DD up there. Quick, gets in there clean. His legs are tight. Carlson upset about something, but so he's sitting at a 195. Ooh, consistency with the bingo here. So Luca's going to do a 403B, inward 1.5 somersault pike, 2.4. So his degree of difficulty is 0.5 less than Owen's dive. Completely different dive. Doing an inward here. In this 5th round, second to last round of diving here. Once again, this is the highest degree of difficulty in a dual meet in the state of Minnesota this year. Ooh, that was clean. Just tight. Limbs were just tied together with a piece of twine. Wow. A 9. His coach gave him a 9. Wow. 237. Wow. 237, which is quite, looking at the 6th dive record by McLean, that is a 305.05. So it is in striking distance. He'll need to get about 70 points, 68 points for that. Last round of diving, Sam's going to do a 402C and with 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. All right, 20 even. All right, Jacob for Eagan is going to do a 404C, inward 2 somersault tuck, 2.8. So if you're looking at the score, look at the total score, because that will give you, after this dive, your final placement for the diving. So Sam Johnson got a 115.25. Now after that dive for Jacob Campbell, his total for the evening is going to come up with a 142.75. But for that dive itself is a 30.0. So Zach is going to do a reverse 1 somersault half twist free 53.21D. So Jacob finishes the evening with a 142.75. Sam Campbell with a 115.25. Ooh, lost himself in the air, gathered himself back. Manworm was able to enter that pool just fine in the end. And he finishes the evening with a 130.4. Got 18 on that dive. So the last dive for Stone is going to do a 52.33D. Back, 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, free 2.5. Boy, it's exciting. The last 2 divers this evening are going to be at 3.1 degree of difficulty. So this is fantastic. Stone doing a 2.5 here. Very nice twisting. Kept the body straight. Clean entry. Judges have to love that. He finishes the evening with a 228.15. 36.25. Will's going to do a 403C, inward 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2. Love having the E-dive going on, so you guys can get those immediate scores without the postcard there. Ooh, Will, little frog legs there at the end, but he got in there. So judges. All right, 29.7. So Will finishes the evening with a 163.15. So Owen's going to do a 51.36D, forward 1.5 somersault, 3 twists, free 3.1. Highest degree of difficulty he's ever done in this pool. Good approach. He kind of flinches there, lost it at the end. You could tell just as he hit the board, he lost a little bit of concentration. He wishes he had that one back, but it's all about the learning process. Expect more from him coming up. So good job. Good finish by Mr. Kipp there. Lucas, a two-time defending state champion, is going to show us a 405C, inward 2.5 somersault tuck, 3.1. Enjoy watching the back-to-back Minnesota state champion right here. Soak it in. Nice. Getting those 2.5 somersaults in there is nice. And he finishes the evening with a 300.65. So he does not, the pool record is a 305.05. So there is no pool record this evening, but yet you got to see a back-to-back defending state champion. So thanks to the Eagan Booster Club having a great scoreboard, which was donated by Minnesota Orthodontics. And my son Hans went to Minnesota Orthodontics, so not only are they generous, but they can straighten your kids' teeth out. And so as they were to sponsor the scoreboard, they sponsored many of the straight dives tonight. So let me just read these in order here. All right, so in order, your diver, not a surprise at all, your back-to-back defending state champion, Lucas Gurton, with a 300.65. You know, about 5 points off a pool record. In second place for the Wildcats in diving is Owen Kipp with a 224.8. Third place this evening for your Wildcats is Stone Larson, coming in at a 228.15. And Will Kerrigan of the Rosemount Irish finishing his personal best this year with a 163.15. And in fifth place is Jacob Campbell from the Eagan Wildcats with a 142.75. And in sixth place for the Rosemount Irish is Zach Manwaring with a 130.4. And we did have one junior varsity diver competitor this evening is Sam Johnson. He scored a 115.25, which is his personal best for the year. It is his first meet of the year, so his personal best is his first best. So we'll be adding up the points here, and we'll get you the scores as of midway in the meet here shortly. But boy, I hope you enjoyed that diving as much as I did. So that was quite the event. So so that puts us about halfway through the meet. And here we are at there will be a pool warm-up because they don't allow the boys to be warming up while diving is going on, because the splash is a little bit loud. So with that said, we do appreciate the sponsors. You know, the tax dollars only do so much, and being the president of the Booster Club for many years, it's really important trying to raise additional funds. And talking on behalf of the Eagan Wildcats, we raise funds to actually have a third coach on deck, because a lot of the club coaches, you have multiple coaches. Not only was that not enough, we wanted a strength and conditioning coach, which is extremely important. So my oldest son was a Division I swimmer, went on to get recruited by several universities and Division I programs in 2015. And at that time, it was kind of rare for strength and conditioning coaches, even at the collegiate level. But then once he got there, then they warmed up to that, and then they had different training groups. But so Eagan Wildcats, I mean, over break, my middle son Anders Broman and younger son Hans Broman went to the YMCA, and they saw 7 of their Eagan Swim and Dive alum friends at the Eagan Y. So it's lifetime skills of trying to, get that muscle memory back. So it's good to see them lifelong athletes. So I want to thank some of our sponsors. Velan Ambalam is with Bridge Realty. So if you're looking to buy or sell, contact him at 612-578-3536. Trail Stop Tavern, generous sponsor, but via the pull tabs through the Hockey Association, as well as Doolittle's is also a generous sponsor. And Twin Cities Orthopedics Training House, Wildcats Bar and Grill, Elsmore Swim Shop. It's where the Eagan Swim and Dive team gets their gear. And then John Mulkern of Ballpark Realty. Contact him at 612-251-1643. Also have to thank our District 196 Superintendent, because that covers both the Rosemount Irish and the Eagan Wildcats, and that is Mary Krieger. So, and of course Sandra Sutter Larson, just a wonderful supporter of athletes. I know when our boys came home from break, she wanted to check in and see how her former athletes were doing, because she's all about the lifelong learner, all about the relationships. Because while we had state champions at the end of the day, hopefully you heard some of the memory lanes from last week. But it was all about the boys' parties after the events and eating, and the boys just getting together, because that's what it is about, is just having a good sense of community. So. And as my boys went on to college, one swimming at Division I, the other two not being college athletes at all, just realized that at high school, this is the pinnacle for a lot of it. I mean, even if you were to go to a Division I swim meet, there's actually fewer fans in the stands than what you're going to see here at Dakota Hills Middle School. So a lot of high energy and a lot of fun. So this brings us to the back half of the meet. I promise you, as soon as the score goes up on the scoreboard, I will bring you that score, because it will be tight. Actually, if I was better at math, I could do it. 'Cause for the individuals, first place gets 6, so that would be going to Lucas Gerton, and then 4 would be going to Stone Larson, and then third place would go to Stone Larson, which would be the 3 points, and fourth place for diving tonight goes to Will Kerrigan, and then sorry, I'm not losing my sheets here. Fifth place would go to, my apologies, on page 1, which blew away from me. We have the fans on high up here in the stands, and so I lost that, but I'll find it momentarily. Here it is on the, oh, nope, still don't have it. All right, got it folded in half. Here we go. Is this where I have it? Nope. I'll get it to you as soon as I can here, but it kind of blew away from us. But so let me figure this out and just pause for a second instead of chasing around here. So it was Lucas, Owen, Stone, and then Jacob was the JV swimmer. I believe it was Zach Manwarren who got that 5th place. Zach Manwarren, so he, in sealing that 5th place, would get that final point there. So A lot of good things to come out of diving this evening. So. All right, after diving, the Wildcats have 36 points, and they trailed the Irish with 42 points. So tight meet going into the butterfly. All right, at 36:42, going into the back half of the meet, coming out of this is the butterfly. So it will be quite exciting to see what happens from here on out. We do also want to thank Twin Cities Orthopedics, which is a great sponsor of Eagan sports in general. They provide trainers there and nice gear, as I'm looking at Sandy Sutter Larson's nice material. So good partnership between the booster club and the school system here. Like I said, the parents work real hard at trying to provide opportunity for these boy athletes above and beyond what's provided by your tax dollars. So trying to extend it as much as they can. So also, I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed, folks, that out of all the sports, this requires the most parent involvement. If you go to a soccer game, which is kind of my sport, parents do the things on the sidelines, but the parents are actually running this meet. So the touchpads go to the Colorado timing system. The Colorado timing system feeds a laptop. The laptop feeds the scoreboard. The scoreboard feeds your computer monitor, which is brought to you by Joe Conlon and ETV. So we appreciate all of the support that ETV provides, and also the parents on deck that are helping to score this meet. So once again, the order of the divers is Lucas Garrett finish at 1, Owen Kipp at 2, Stone Larson 3, Will Kerrigan 4, Jacob Campbell at 5, Zach Manwarn at 6, and Sam Johnson at 7. So that's how we come up with the 36-42 of the evening. So Chris Morgan in his 15th year at the Eagan Swim and Dives. Always good to see him here. He raises good adults, so even sent it in his email this week, hey, your boys are not on taper. They do a lot of swimming and lifting, so make sure they're shoveling when they're at home, and don't do an adequate job, do an excellent job. So do something that you're proud of. So this brings us to the 100-yard butterfly junior varsity. There's only going to be 2 swimmers here. In lane 1 is Preston Dunn on the blocks, and lane 5, Pranav Antavilu. Good to see Pranav going at a butterfly for the first time. Pranav not wanting to swim the butterfly, so he's streamlining as far as he possibly can. I love it. That streamline is just so important. I mean, it is, there's so much science in this sport. I tease my boys so often that, my stroke is inefficient, and I get the biggest workout because theirs are streamlined and they go so much faster. So boys are even at the turn here, Preston and Pranav. So looking at the foreshadowing of the one of the things I might mention as the divers are over there looking at the TiVo system, which is a system that records all their dives, so they have instant learning capabilities right there. So instead of just having the coaches tell them, the Booster Club has provided a running tape system of their dives. All right, this is bringing us into the 100-yard butterfly varsity. In lane 1, it is Kuldeep Ratchabatuni. Lane 3, Thomas Keller. Lane 5, Dabin Chong for the Irish. And lane 2, Sawyer Smith. Lane 4, Spencer Rude. So we'll see how Keller's feeling after being sick over the holidays. Chong doing a nice job getting out in front here. Keller is really racing in it, but it is Spencer Rude touching in first. Keller coming on strong here. And Chong not leaving anything in the pool either. So it is a tight race here. Keller leading after that last wall. But oh my Lanta, Chong had a wonderful turn. Now he's coming alive. It looks like it's going to be a 1-2 Wildcat finish, and that it is, folks. 1-2 for the Wildcats. Good job. Good job by Dabin Chong in that back half to close that out. Goes from third to first right away. Those points will be the difference maker here in this back half of the meet, because Irish didn't even field the 6 swimmers, so just by having a lane filled, Kuldeep snags that 1 point in that heat. So with that, the Wildcats score 11 in just that event, where the Irish score a mere 5 points. So 11 would put us at a 47 to the 5, 47. It is tied up after that event right there, folks. It is 47-47. I'm telling you, this free entertainment brought to you by ETV, it doesn't get any better than this. The best dive meet in the state, and now it's all knotted up after the 100-yard butterfly. So now we'll be doing a few exhibition heats, 2 to be exact, and then we'll be swimming the junior varsity. But super exciting right now. These 2 schools border each other, and many of these kids swim with one another at clubs, and have for years and years and years. So, and many times those club swimmers, as they're swimming for 8 months out of the year, know each other better than even their high school teammates that are only swimming for 3 months out of the year. Frank Gartner, our official this evening, says he's good to go. They're looking to the starter here to see if she's ready to go. All right, oh boy. We won't talk about that. Jackson Monner didn't know he was swimming this race. He won't do that again. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not Jackson Monner. So, don't know who's in the pool in lane 1, but in lane 2, the Dallas Cockrell Lane 4, Noah Baker. Lane 5, Philip Kazan. And sorry, don't have a listing in lane 6 there. But good to see the depth of, oh, it is not Noah Baker in lane 4 for the Irish, I'm sorry. And that athlete can't quite tell the name on the cap. It's a 100-yard freestyle here, so second easiest event on paper, because it is the freestyle, so not a high degree of difficulty, but still 8 lengths of the 4 laps is not an easy thing for most people, so. All right, good job there. It's not Noah Baker, but I'm not Wildcat touching in there for a 107.91. Lane 3, we don't have a time, so that's why we have the backup timers. Third place is lane 6, which I don't have a name for. Lane 5 is in 4th place, and that is Philip Kazan. So.
Heat 3.
Oh, I'm
boys
sorry.
100-yard freestyle, junior varsity.
What happened was they combined the first 2 heats of the exhibition into one, so this is the junior varsity heat now. So in lane 1, Isaac Krebs. Lane 3, Neelan Ambalam. Lane 5, Lucas Gourde. And for the Irish in lane 2, Ethan Conley. Lane 4, Cooper Peterson in this JV race. So. Ambalam. Noah Baker is in lane 6 for the Irish, so they were able to fill the 3 lanes for the JV heat. Senior captain Neelan Ambalam is in first place here. Isaac Krebs, solid 2nd place. 3rd place currently is Lucas Gourde, but knocking on the door there is Cooper Peterson. 5th place is Ethan Conley. Ambalam, long and strong, coming in. Good finish there also by Isaac Krebs, keeping the head down, touching in nicely. So Noah Baker finishing up for the Irish. So once again, folks, this meet is knotted up at 47-47, going into the 100-yard freestyle varsity. Once again, just to help you out at home, an individual first place gets you 6 points. 2nd place gets you 4 points. 3rd place gets you 3 points. 4th place gets you 2 points. 5th place gets you a point. So just getting that 5th spot is getting you a point. You know, so you can win the event and go 1, but if the other team goes 2, 3, 4, they'll outscore you. All right, for your Wildcats in lane 1, Tyler Burby. Lane 3, Derek Bango. Lane 5, Louis Decatois. Boy, they're going to have to lay it out, those Wildcats, because they're going against lane 2, the Irish, Noah Stranoski. Lane 4, Josh Sikorsky. Boy, we got the Polish pivot here, and Josh Saleh in lane 6. Oh, at that turn, though, Derek Bango is leading. But shortly behind him is Josh Sikorsky. But Decatois is a solid 3rd place. 4th place is going to Tyler Burby. Could this be the pivot point of the meet here, folks? The 100-yard freestyle varsity. Decatur digging deep, trying to get that second. It's not going to happen, but Bango touches in at first, and then Sikorsky for second. And then Decatur third. And fourth place is Tyler Burby, which is key, very key. Fifth place goes to lane 2, so definitely a turning point. Lane 6 gets 6, which is 0 points. So for your Wildcats, they got a 6 points, they got 3 points, and then they got, boy, this isn't easy for me to do on the fly up here. And the 2 points, 2, 4, and then Rosemount gets the 4 and the 1 point. So 11 points for the Wildcats there, 5 points for the Irish. So my unofficial math puts us at 58 for the Wildcats and 52 for the Irish. So it's all about depth. Wildcats are just have enough athletes to really have enough athletes and depth to score well. So unofficially it's 58, 52. So this brings us to the 500-yard freestyle. It's only a varsity event this evening. Boy, oh boy, what do we have going here? Irish at the turn are in first and second here. But let me read the lineup here. In lane 1, which is on the bottom of your screen, is Josiah Schaffhausen for the Wildcats. In lane 3 for the Wildcats is Mason Dietering. Lane 5, Aiden Smith for your Wildcats. For the Irish in lane 2, Will Durfee. Lane 4, Sullivan Labno. Lane 6, Nolan Hansen. It's such a key race here. I've seen these two teams compete going back and forth where that A point, that 1 point matters in this race in the 500. I saw it in the section meet 2 years ago that the 1 point was what got us that section title. So always important to dig deep. You can look at the splits. Really nice job there in lane 4 by Sullivan Labno at a 30.71. He'll try to keep that pace going. And lane 2, Will Durfee is going smooth, but if I was a betting man, I'd say Mason Dietering will be catching up to Durfee in lane 2 there as he tries to do some negative split action, but currently Dietering is a body length behind. So your Wildcats are going to be needing to pick it up here. Josiah Schaffhausen is battling for that 4th place there. On the opposite side of the pool at the top of your screen is Nolan Hansen. So those two guys are even, but a width of a pool apart. So once again, Wildcats at 58, and then Irish at 52. 20 lengths of the pool, so it's quite the race here. Dietering falling behind here of Durfee in lane 2. At the halfway point of the meet, 10 lengths of the pool. Telling you, this is not an easy event. Definitely the longest event in high school. More than twice as long as the second longest event, which is a 200-yard freestyle. So Rosemount looking really good in this 500 freestyle. They're down 6 points in the meet, but they're in first, second, 4th here. So, well, their team only has 17 athletes. Clearly, they love that 500-yard freestyle. Which is kind of unusual. I mean, if you have a smaller team, who would think that the most endurance event would be your best one, but such is life for the Rosemount Irish. Should mention, I mean, I am an Eagan supporter, but I am a District 196 supporter. Was that not just phenomenal, seeing the Rosemount Marching Band in the Rose Bowl parade? For goodness sakes, can you believe it? Second appearance there, and it was very impressive. I mean, that band year after year goes to nationals and the Super Championships and really represents Minnesota, District 196 in our community so well. And marching in a parade is quite different than a halftime show, and they can put together both of those events quite well. So the bell is out. That indicates the leader has one lap to go. And so earning that bell is Sullivan Labno. But you can't tell me Will Durfee didn't hear it either at lane 2. He's trying to go after his teammate. Mason Dietering is in third place there. Oh, it is a tight race between the two Irishmen. Oh, coming in hot at the end, but it is, oh my Lanta! Will Durfee out-touching his teammate by 0.05 of a second. Are you kidding me? So the Irish go 1-2, and then Wildcats go third with Mason Dietering, and then the Irish go fourth, and then the Wildcats will be getting that 5th place finish. So the Wildcats score 4 in that event. Meanwhile, the Irish take home 11. Wow. So that puts us at 63-62. Swings the meat quite a bit there. So the Wildcats go from leading by 4 to being down by 1. Are you kidding me? After the 500, these two teams are within 1 point of each other. They're not only close in proximity, but they're close in score. That brings us to the junior varsity relay. It should be noted that in the relays, they are worth 8, 4, and 2. So if you, you know, that first place relay, if you get that, you're going to win the event. I mean, you can go 2, 3, but that's only going to get you 6 points, but that first place finish will get you the 8. This is a junior varsity here. So we're going to see the Irish have a lane filled. There's a Wildcats in lane 1. It's Ryan Huth, the freshman. Lane 3, Eli Carrasco, the freshman. Lane 5, Sam Johnson, the diver. For the Irish in lane 1 is the diver, Will Kerrigan. In the USA swim cap. I'm telling you, the diver's wearing the Michael Phelps. You gotta love it. And why not? You're done with your event, so just show what you got in the freestyle. So the exchange happens. Oh, the divers, oh, not sure what's happening there in lane 5. Boslak was waiting for lane 4 to finish, but lane 4 is Jackson Helmberger. Lane 3 for the Wildcat is Ian Chong. Lane 1 is the diver, Stone Larson. But no sweat whatsoever for Boslak. He's like, I'll have a super safe start and I'll beat you on the backside. And he sends Zach Vlanenhan, who's in the water for the Wildcats. And lane 4, diver Zach Manwarren. Lane 3, Owen Kipp, the diver's in the water. Lane 1, Jacob Campbell. Love to see the divers getting involved on both sides. Lucas Gurton, this defending 2-time state champion diver, is in lane 4, ready to go. So diving in the water in lane 4 is Lucas Gurton. Lane 3, Preston Dunn. Lane 5, Ezra Moeller. Lane 1, the Dallas Cockrell. I am telling you, these Irish divers are fast in the 50s. What an athlete, Lucas Gurton. Wish I could have gotten his split because just really streamlined. Wow, nicely done there. Finishing off in lane 3 is Preston Dunn. Lane 5, Ezra Moeller. Lane 1, Vidalis Cockrell. Okay, as we're at 62, 64. Sorry, I did wrong math, I guess. So if I was a betting man, I'm looking at the lineup here. Am I looking at the lineup? Yeah, I am. Wildcats, I think they're going for a 2-3 finish. I don't think they're going to be able to take the Irish in this one at the 1, but we will have to see. In the water for your Wildcats in lane 1, Tyler Verby. Lane 3, Miggy San Jose. Lane 5, Damon Chong. For the Irish in lane 1, Quinlan Schroeder. Lane 4, Matthew Warwick. Lane 6, Winston Larson. It is tight here coming in in the water. Lane 3 is Braden Hagenbarth. Lane 5 is Josiah Schaffhausen. Lane 1, Reese Heenis-Cook. For the Irish in lane 4, Josh Sikorsky. Lane 2, Jackson Prussy. Lane 6, Noah Baker. So the Irish are leading here by about a half a body going into the 3rd swimmer. In the water for the Irish in lane 4, Will Dury. Lane 3, Derek Bangle for the Wildcats. Lane 1, Vidan Shrista. Lane 5, Louis Decatois. And lane 2 for the Irish, Sawyer Smith. Lane 6, Ethan Conley. But oh my Lanta, the race is in the middle of the pool going into the anchors. My money's on Thomas Keller in lane 3, but in lane 4 it is Sullivan Lobno. Lane 2 is Nolan Hansen. Lane 1 for the Wildcats, Lucas Gord. Lane 6, Cooper Peterson. How are we doing in the middle of the pool? It is Thomas Keller coming alive in lane 3 for your Wildcats. Could it be a first place finish for this relay? It certainly is. The Wildcats grab that 8 points, that first place finish, along with the 4 points goes to the Irish and 2 points goes to the Wildcats. Cats grab 10 points there on that. 10 points, so that'll put them at 72. Meanwhile, the Irish grab 4 points, which is going to put them at 68. Are you kidding me? Just a mere 4 points going into the backstroke. Did not see that coming. I thought the Irish were going to take that relay. Thomas Keller is feeling good after the holidays. Wrapping up the race in lane 6 is Cooper Peterson doing a nice job. Nice straight streamline. But what excitement, I'm telling you. So unofficially, once again, don't trust my math. I didn't go into District 196. I was District 622 myself, home of the Polars, North St. Paul. But I have a 72-68. But we will see. I'll wait for the scoreboard to light up. But if you're at home, that's what we got. So it doesn't get much more exciting than this, folks. Only thing. If it was tied up going in the 400-yard freestyle, but we don't want that. It's kind of like the Vikings. Can't they just win a game outright and not make us all panic? Starter Emily Gabriel is waiting to make sure everything is set. Frank Gertner, the stroke official, is talking to the Irish coach regarding the stroke analysis. Frank was my parent coach. So when my oldest son was 9 years old, he kind of coached me into what swimming was all about. All right.
Quiet, please.
It's a backstroke here for the junior varsity. Wildcats in lane 1 is Carlos Conlon. Lane 3, Bidan Shrista. Lane 5, Michael Boone. The Irish only have 2 swimmers in this event. It's freshman Jackson Helmberger in lane 2. Lane 4 is Noah Stranosky. But this is my time to genuflect to Chris Morgan. Just really knowing what boy is into what and for what reason, and demanding that the boys give it all they got. My middle son, Anders, had always wanted to do an Ironman triathlon since he was 6 years old. He told Coach Morgan, Coach, I want to swim, but I want to swim to train for an Ironman. So my stroke won't be a competitive stroke, it'll be an outdoor stroke. And Coach Morgan says, well, I'll coach you to do that. Quite funny, because Anders would tell me, he's like, yeah, Daddy, put me in the 500, and my stroke is so bad for competitive swimming I could see my splits on the scoreboard in lane 5. Because an outdoor stroke, your head is up. You're looking for that buoy, trying to figure out where it's at. In a competitive swim stroke, you barely move your lips out of the water to grab that breath and catch it. But so Chris Morgan really knows what the athletes are and will push him to do the best. And he certainly, you know, and he even allowed my son to leave practice 10 minutes early. And in the heat of the training, he would do a swim practice and then run a half Ironman on the treadmill before heading home. So, and thanks to Chris Morgan for encouraging my son, he was able to finish Ironman Texas, and a lifetime goal of his. All right, good job by these boys finishing up, and all of them under a 133, which is quite good at the junior varsity level for a backstroke. One of the more technical strokes for sure. All right, boy, it is 72-68, and here we are in the backstroke. What's the lineup? It's good to see Miggy San Jose in lane 3. But Spencer Rood is in lane 2 for the Irish. And Reese Heenis-Cook is in lane 1 for the Wildcats. As I said, Miggy San Jose in lane 3. Lane 5 is Aiden Smith. For the Irish in lane 2, Spencer Rood. Lane 4, Matthew Warwick. Lane 6, Josh Soleil. Miggy has good underwaters, but he has got his competition there tonight. I mean, look at the long arms of Warwick. Just going crazy. Love seeing that flip turn. Good underwater by Warwick. Miggy can't quite get up. He's about a half length behind. Spencer Rood doing a nice job in lane 2. Aiden Smith trying to hang in there for that 3rd spot. And that ever important 1 point, Reese Heenis-Cook is in 5th place right now in lane 1. But it will be Matthew Warwick finishing 1st. So the Irish get that 6 points. Miggy San Jose gets that 4 points. The Irish get the 3rd points. And then Wildcats get the 2 points. Where are we at with the final point? That goes to the Irish. You heard Chris Morgan just groan on the sidelines. It was great. Oh, so 72. So let me do the quick math here. Actually, it's not quick math because I'm doing it, but it's 78 for the Wildcats now, and then it's 68, 74, 77, 78. Oh my Lanta, is this for real? Is this for real? 78, 78 after the backstroke? 78, 78 after the backstroke. This is crazy. I said quick math, but it was slow. And I got through math. Miss Timmerman in 1st grade says, show your work and you'll get partial credit, which is why I say the points out loud and say it to you, because you at home should be keeping track of the score as well. And check my work, please. 78-78, it lights up on the scoreboard, but you knew that at home. But boy, oh boy, this is quite fun. Thank you, ETV, for bringing us this competition right into your home. I do know our longest listener, meaning the greatest distance, is out in Ireland. So make sure you tap in on YouTube where you're at, where you're listening from. We're always interested in that. But let's give these junior varsity breaststrokers the credit they're due. In lane 1 is McGavin Nee for the Wildcats. Lane 3, Kuldeep Rachabatuni. And lane 5, Nano Tanlin. The Irish have a swimmer in lane 4. It's freshman Winston Larson. So 78-78 at the after the backstroke. So stay on the edge of your seat. Don't grab a beverage because we're going right into the breaststroke for varsity right after this. So, boy, I knew it'd be tight, but it doesn't get any tighter than all level after event number 22. All right, nice touch in there. So the varsity, so much at stake right here. So much at stake. Tied 78-78. So while you want to get that first place, getting a point is critical right now. All right, for your Wildcats in lane 1, Braden Hegenbarth. Lane 3 is Alex Bango. Lane 5 is William Wynn. For the Irish in lane 2, Jackson Pressey. Lane 4, Quinlan Schroeder. Lane 6, Dylan Everett. So they will be going to the maroon and gold race tomorrow night at the University of Minnesota, which is where the state meet is held. So definitely a great race there. All right, where are we at here? Boy, oh boy, is Quinlan Schroeder just running away with it here in first place. Coach Morgan says, you take first, we'll take second, third, and fourth. Clearly, they're not going to catch Quinlan Schroeder there at all. But the Wildcats holding their own with Alex Bango there, grabbing that second place. And then doing a great job right at the turn. It's tight between Hegenbarth and Will Wynn, both of the Wildcats. So what is this time here? 59.77, not too bad at all. The breaststroke, and then so it goes 1 for the Irish, 2, 3, 4 for the Wildcats, and then 2, 3, 4, and then the Irish get that 5th point. So Irish gets 7 that event. The Wildcats get 9. All right, Quinlan did not break the pool record, but he got 3rd, so that's good. Leave it to Chris Morgan to know the first, second times. I mean, how many coaches know off the top of your head what is the second fastest time? But Morgan does. So once again, I'm doing the math out loud. Irish got 1st place and 5th place. So they got 7 points, whereas the Wildcats got 9 points. So it's a 2-point separation right now going into the 87-85. So 87 for the Wildcats and 85 for the Irish. Looking at this lineup for the Wildcats, it is going to be tight. You know, Rosemount is saving some of their swimmers. I mean, you got Durfee and Rude and Lobno in that A relay for the Wildcats. However, for the Irish, the Wildcats have Keller and Miggy San Jose on the blocks, and they'll have Aiden Smith and Schaffhausen for that A relay. But in the junior varsity race, I guarantee you Wildcats will go 1, 2, 3 because there is no Irish here. But let's give these swimmers the respect they are due. In lane 1 is the freshman Lucas Gord. Lane 3 is freshman Eli Carrasco. Lane 5, freshman Pranav Antavilu. So going into this final relay, if Irish get first and the Wildcats goes 2 and 3 in this final relay, the meet ends in a tie, which does happen. I've seen it, like as I mentioned, in 2007 it happened between these two teams after Rosemount had 10 years of winning, and Eagan broke that streak with a tie. So it does happen. In the water now is in lane 1 is freshman Ethan Jenkins, lane 3 Nano Tallon, lane 5 sophomore Michael Boom. Love seeing these freshmen understand the culture here and having their eyes on the varsity events here. Tell you what, I mean, you can drop your kid off in the pool and Chris Morgan will make him into a swimmer. There's years where they were short on numbers. He's like, bring your kids here. As long as they have a pulse, we'll take them. And he has turned them into, we had guys that were starters on the basketball team quit to come out to swim under the tutelage of Chris Morgan. And then they said that was the best decision I ever did. So lane 1 in the water is Ethan Schumacher. In lane 5, Preston Dunn. And lane 3, Kuldeep Ratchabatooni. Good start by Ratchabatooni, the good underwater, keeping that straight streamline. Boy, it's been fun to see him really develop a streamline through the years. I mean, it used to be that he had a little choppier stroke, but that nice turn, see that? And see how he keeps his head down. Love to see him breathe every other stroke. It's not necessary to breathe so much. I mean, you can do that after your race is done and the rest of the night. While you're racing, lifting your head up every time. Talked earlier about the outdoor swimming as opposed to indoor swimming. See how Ratchabatooni just barely lifts his head up, but every time he lifts his head up, he loses that streamline. So be better if he breathed half as much as he does now. He does have the lung capacity. I do know that. In fact, he should probably take up the clarinet. He'd have a great tone on that horn. In lane 1, diving into the water, freshman Isaac Krebs. Lane 3, Carlos Conlon. Lane 5, Ian Chong. I mean, this junior varsity relay, kind of hard to believe at how close these guys are. I am looking so forward to this 400-yard freestyle relay. I mean, coming down, it could be tied once again if Eagan goes 2-3 and Irish go 1, it will be a tie. So Eagan does need to win this 400 freestyle relay, and this is not unusual. It was 2 years ago where the Irish came to the same pool and were racing, and the Wildcats, it came down to that final relay, and they were 3 body lengths behind, and Jackson Keller, who went on to become the state champion, out-touched them. I believe that was 3 years ago. And then 2 years ago, and then the same thing happened in sections. They had it, and then just lost it as it went to the anchor thing. So, but.
We win. We go 2-3, we tie.
Yep. All right, so Coach Morgan making sure that everyone knows if we win, we win. If we go 2-3, we tie. So it's all coming down here. All the marbles here. So here we are. Relay 842, here we are. This is really exciting. Go Big Blue, go Big Blue. All right.
Event number 24, the boys 400-yard freestyle relay varsity.
Here we are.
Quiet please to begin with, but then let her rip.
In lane 3. Ooh, they're leading off with Thomas Keller. I mean, I guess we want a solid start, and they're going to try to get a lead here. Oop, Frank Gertner's asking for quiet. Thomas Keller, good jump there. Half a body length immediately. He's your swimmer in lane 3. Lane 5 for the Wildcats is Mason Dietering. Lane 1, Neelan Ambalam. For the Irish in lane 2, freshman Cooper Peterson. In lane 4, Will Durfee. Thomas Keller has got to get some length here. I mean, Durfee is an athlete, but kind of expect, ooh, nice turn by Keller there on that. Just an arm length of difference there. You know, as they're lining up these second swimmers, it's going to be Sawyer Smith for the Irish. And oh my, it's a Smith combo platter. Two Smiths lining up. Aiden Smith in lane 3 for the Wildcats. Sawyer Smith in lane 4, no relation. All right, and Aiden Smith in the water for the Wildcats first, but then shortly thereafter is Sawyer Smith. Lane 5 in the water will win. Boy, it is tight there. The Smith combo is happening, but it does appear that Aiden Smith is losing ground to Sawyer Smith. Lost 3/4 of a body length. He's trying to hang on, but Sawyer Smith's stroke is long and strong. Good turn there. In the water in lane 2 for the Irish, Norris Franowska. Lane 1, Bidan Trista. Lane 4, lane 5 is Will Wynn. Sawyer Smith has gained 2 body lengths now on Aiden Smith. So they make it 3 body lengths. So now in the water for the Irish is Spencer Rude. In the water for your Wildcats is Josiah Schaffhausen, who has his work cut out for him for sure, being that 3rd swimmer. And the gap is getting a little bit larger between 1st and 2nd here. In lane 2, diving into the water is Josh Saleh. Lane 1 is Reese Heenis Cook. In the water over there in lane 5 is Riley McRoberts. So remember, if the Wildcats win, they win the meet. If they don't win in that first spot, it's a tie. And so far it is looking like a tie. Miggy San Jose is wanting to get in the water, but he will have 4 body lengths in order to catch that Sullivan's Labno. Sawyer Smith already touching in. Aiden Smith touches in. Miggy San Jose is off. Can he catch him? It would be incredible to get that 4 body lengths. Miggy San Jose is just dialing it in as much as he can. But boy, oh boy, I'm impressed with that kick in lane 4 with Sullivan Labno. He is not going to let this lead go at all. Miggy is a well-respected and an expert swimmer. Lane 1 diving in the water is McGavin Nee. Lane 2, Nolan Hansen. And folks, you are witnessing something pretty spectacular. Rarely does it come down to the 400 and you see a tie, but that is exactly what is going to happen this evening between these 2 district rivals, Rosemount and the Wildcats. So Wildcats get 2nd, and they will be getting just a key swim by McGavin Nee there. Flip turning there, because in order to tie it, they need to get that 2nd spot. Oh, and they do. I'm sorry, lane 5 totally sealed the deal with Tyler Burby's swim though. My apologies. Tyler does have a watch on, but the official time is kept on the scoreboard. Exciting meet for this 3rd spot. Come on, let's go, McGavin Nee, touching in. Inconsequential, but fun nonetheless. A nice out touch by freshman Nolan Hansen. Oh my goodness, people, this meet has ended in a tie. I am telling you. 87, 85 it was before this event, and now it goes, and it's all tied up, 91s. So not too often you see that. Wait, did I do the math correctly? Well, you know, it's a tie. So a just fine sportsmanship by everyone. I mean, what you got to witness tonight was the best diving in the state of Minnesota with 4 of the top 5 divers. The section meet will be fantastic. You got to see defending champion Lucas Gurton swim. You got to see great sportsmanship. And I'm telling you, the coaching was unbelievable. I mean, Rosemount had a bunch of fast swimmers, but the depth was on the pool deck for the Wildcats, and Coach Morgan was able to finagle to get those relays to go 2-3. Thomas Keller hauling Miggy San Jose out of the water. And the final score is 93-93. There it is. As we witnessed, it's 93-93. So Rosemount is saying, let's go. Tough to tell. So it's we do not go to penalty kicks. The game is over. It is not World Cup soccer. We do not go to penalty kicks. We just go home and say, good job, everybody. So what you got to witness was something rare, is to see a tie. So good job. But this is fantastic. Thank you so much to ETV. I mean, Joe Scanlon was directing tonight. Margie Broman on camera one, and Paul Keller did a lot of work from the Booster Club at the Eagan Swim and Dive, so he did a lot of coordination. And this is Gus Broman. Oop. Gotta love the cheers. Let's see what Eagan comes back with, because we want to hear the sportsmanship before we sign off, because it's always good. Could it be cheese balls, cheese balls? I don't know. All right, I don't. Very nice cheer there. So this is Gus Broman for ETV. Be happy, choose joy, and go Wildcats.